Howdy ho, Andrew here. Welcome to the Onion Buns and welcome to another episode of Let's Talk Oilers. Oilers versus Canadians, December 14th, game 33. Very short pre-show today. Calvin Pickard's in net. Otherwise, all the injuries from the last game remain the same. Jari gets the night off, but the lineup on ice is exactly the same. And there's no other information to tell anyone. So let's get on to the game, I guess. Wow, that was quick, huh? All right, period one. Well, we got our official down at 1944, the first period. Took a puck to the ankle, dropped like a sack on the ice. And to his credit, he did manage to get up and skate it off, so you got to give him credit on that. For a few seconds there, it looked like he was done for the night and we were going to go down to the three-man system, but no, he's toughed it out. You've heard me over the last probably about the last 10 or 15 games, I've mentioned many times that Sportsnet has a problem. They have at least one technician and possibly more who is completely not on the ball. He's not up to par. And well, we saw it again this game. 16 seconds into the game. Shots on net. 0 for Edmonton, 20 for Montreal. And it stayed that way for a minute and a half before they finally fixed it. I've said it before. Sportsnet has a problem with one of their or more of their technicians. And honestly, they are starting, I shouldn't even say starting. They are looking very unprofessional over it. Like, you accept a few mistakes, but this has been going on for a lot of games. So either get somebody that knows how to do their job or teach this new kid or whatever how to do his job, but stop with these stupid bonehead mistakes. All right, Pickard, big save on Hab's breakaway. And you're going to hear me say this a few times. 5 actually this game. Montreal penalty at 13:56. Montreal takes 2 very undisciplined penalties. I don't even know what they got dinged for. It was 2 penalties at the same time to give the Oilers a 5-on-3 for a full 2 minutes. Unfortunately, the Oilers did nothing with that. You know, like Rob Brown, I have all the respect in the world for Rob Brown normally, but at the end of the game, Rob Brown, the Oilers peppered the goalie. The Oilers, 90% of the shots in this game were ultra low percentage shots, that far off the ice. And we had another goalie who played on his knees tonight. So he didn't have, if it was that far off, he didn't have to make the save. He just had to be on his knees and the puck would hit him. And this is the ongoing theme of this game. And I talked about this in the Toronto game, that I noticed this the night before. And I was worried it was going to carry through, and it carried through to the extreme tonight. Oilers take a penalty at 9:41, Regula for holding. Montreal penalty at 3:04, hooking. Oilers power play has not looked good this period. On the third power play, they got 0 shots on net. Didn't even get set up. It was ugly. And that was the end of the first. Shots on goal were 12-10 for the Oilers. But to be honest, it was 0-10 for the Canadians, because the 12 shots by the Oilers were all ultra low percentage shots that, unless we're playing against Toronto's goalie, they're not going in on anyone. Unimpressive first period with Edmonton continuing to only shoot low, making their shots very low percentage. Hopefully they force Montreal to try and play up to the Edmonton skill level in the second and the third, rather than playing down to Montreal's level as they did in the first. Second period, Oilers penalty at 17:43, Ekholm for tripping. Habs goal at 17:32, power play goal, 1-0 Habs. Oilers need to wake up or they will give this game away to a far lesser team yet again. This game was really reminding me of the Buffalo game, if I'm being very honest. And the Oilers had absolutely no excuse to lose to Buffalo. And I'm going to jump to the end. They lost here, and there's no excuse for it. None. Pickard just massively bailed out Nurse. Turnover, the dreaded blind pass that I've spoken on before, leading to another breakaway. So this is the second one. If the Oilers continue to only shoot to lower portion of the net, this game is sadly over already. Oilers penalty, 11:23, Regula for slashing. Montreal goal at 8:02. Bouchard out-muscled behind the net and gave the puck away, and Canadians shot it in. 2-0 Habs. 13 minutes into the second, Oilers have 3 shots on goal, and all 3 have been ultra low percentage shots. 3 shots on goal in the second period, but all 3 of them were there were nothing shots. And that was 13 minutes into the second period. Great. Looks like we're banking on the magical 20-minute effort in the third if we're to pull this one out. Pickard stops a third breakaway of the game. Too bad he's the only player that's showing up ready to play this game. Another ice level shot by the Oilers. At this point, does Montreal even need to have a goalie? Just lay a stick across the crease and it will stop all of the Oilers shots. I don't understand it. They will not shoot high. Pickard just stopped another breakaway of the 4th of the night. Lazar gets the first Oilers shot of game that wasn't ice level, forcing Montreal goalie to make an actual save. Montreal penalty at 13.5 seconds holding, aka tackling a player, because that's what it is. He just tackled them. End of the second, shots on goal were 18-22 for Montreal, 2-0 Montreal. I'm not even going to do a recap. It was the Oilers' ugly second period. We've seen it all year, and so we've had 40-minute no-show thus far by the Oilers. Third period, Habs goalie just made his second save of the game off Leon. Leon was in his office on the power play, so it was a good save. But it was literally the second save of the game that he had to make. Everything else, he just laid there and the pucks hit him because they won't race the puck. No, that's not a typo. He's faced 19 shots, but only 2 shots had any real chance of scoring. Oiler penalty at 17-13. Frederick cross-checking. Montreal goal at 16-22 on the power play. 3-0 Montreal. This game is pretty much over. Oilers are not willing to give us a even 20-minute effort. Louis just summed it up great. What he said was, the way to beat Montreal is to play physical, grind and forecheck. The very thing the Oilers cannot do this year because the team is designed to be small, soft, and non-physical. And we just got rid of Kulak for a even smaller, softer, non-physical defenseman. I don't want to rag on Stastny, but he's fast, and that's all anyone can say about him is he's fast. He's got no physicality, no strength. He's very undersized. So we got smaller. And we were already non-physical before the trade. And once again, it's costing us to lose to much lesser team. Because, I'm sorry, Montreal is nowhere near Edmonton's level when Edmonton plays their game. But we've seen it, not even just this season, we've seen it for years prior to this, is the Oilers do not make teams rise to their level. They always come down to the opponent's level. And that's what they did this game. They allowed Montreal to dictate the term of this game from start to finish. Great chance for Janmark, but he opts for a 1 foot off the ice shot rather than trying for the top of the net. Beautiful offensive zone cycle for McDavid and Leon, but 0 shots on net, and you can't pass the puck into the net. You have to shoot. And they weren't shooting, they cycled. They had a good minute 15 cycle, but that's all it was. There was no shot. Montreal penalty at 7:57, high sticking. Oilers goal, 7:31, Hyman from Bouchard and McDavid. Leon passes to McDavid to Bouchard. Bouchard does a point blast. First time I've seen him do that, and I can't even tell you how many games now. It was an actual slap shot from the point. Usually it's Ekholm taking that shot. Anyway, he did the point blast, and Hyman buries the rebound. 3-1 Montreal. Amazing what happens when you shoot on net. Montreal goal at 6:08. Frederick turns over for a 2-on-1. Nurse takes away the pass. He played it perfectly. He took away the pass, but the Montreal player beats Pickard clean. And Pickard played amazing. He kept the Oilers in the game. So eventually all these high quality chances he was facing, where one of them was bound to go in on him, and that's what happened here. Oilers pull. So that's 4-1 Montreal. Oilers pull Pickard with 4:45 remaining in the game. Didn't matter. End of the game, shots on goal were 28-27 for the Oilers. But let's be clear here. The real shots on net were 5 for the Oilers and 27 for the Montreal Canadiens. Because the Oilers only had 5 legitimate scoring shots. The rest of them were that high, far off the ice. And like I said, all this goalie, and this goalie was one of those goalies that just plays off his knees, off his pads. He's on his pads as soon as they enter the zone, and he's just on his, and the puck hits him. And that's all it was. It was the Wallstad thing. It's like I talked about Wallstad with Minnesota. Wallstad didn't make any amazing saves. you just let the pucks hit them. And that's what the Oilers did tonight, is they just hit them, hit them, hit them, hit them. They didn't make them make big saves. Montreal wins 4-1. Well, that was boring, ugly, unimpressive, and completely unacceptable. Montreal goalie almost gets the ultra-rare 5-shot shutout because he only had to stop 5 legitimate shots, of which 1 got past him. I do not understand why this team hates to go for high percentage shots. Instead, they constantly try to force ultra-low percentage shots through, and it normally doesn't work. But I talked about this in the Leafs game, and a lot of our horrible first 22 game where we made goalies look good rather than forcing them to earn their saves. Here's a stat that says it all. Montreal is one of the softest, least physical teams in the league. You can look it up. They're in the bottom 3 for hits. They out-hit the Oilers by a large margin tonight. That should be absolutely embarrassing to the team. Montreal has one of the smallest teams in the league, one of the softest teams in the league, and they're in the bottom 3 for hits, and yet they out-hit the Oilers tonight. Oilers are backtracking into bad habits that they do not win constantly when doing. And it's because, at least in my opinion, because the team wants to play shinny. They're not interested in playing hockey. And every time they go into this mode, they lose more often than not. Shinny doesn't work in the NHL. Shinny works at the rec center. You need to play hockey. There is more to hockey than just a skills competition. Oilers play best when they play a balanced build of offense, physicality, team defense, and support their goalie. When they do that, they are one of the top 3 teams in this league, and almost nobody can touch them. But when they play like they did in Montreal, they're a sub 500 team. Here's another stat for you. At the beginning of the year, all you heard from the Oiler media and pundits and everything, oh, well, the Oilers are getting younger and they're getting faster and rah, rah, rah. We have yet to win a single back-to-back because apparently our young, fast team can't play 2 nights in a row occasionally. We've not won a single back-to-back game this year. Not one. So why did we get younger? Why did we get faster? We were better off with Perry at 40 years old because at least Corey Perry showed up to play every night. 3 stars. Star number 1, Kelvin Pickard. Star number 2, Kelvin Pickard. Star number 3, Kelvin Pickard. Slugs. Everyone not named Kelvin Pickard. I know Kelvin had an .850 save percentage this game and allowed 4 goals, but he stopped 5 breakaways and 2 of 3 2-on-1s. You can't ask any more from a $1 million a season backup goalie. He kept the Oilers in the game when they had no right to be in this game at all. As for the Slugs, the whole team was absolutely stunk. They were terrible. And yeah, Oilers are now 15-12-6. Next game is Tuesday, December 16th, 2025 versus Pittsburgh, 5 p.m. on Sportsnet. Apparently, Stuart Skinner ran into some visa trouble. So it's an assumption that he will be playing on Tuesday, but don't guarantee that, because you can never predict the Canadian government and visas. So, the plan is for him to be playing in Pittsburgh, and Jari will be playing for Edmonton. But if he can't get his visa straightened out, he won't be playing. Kulak will be playing in Pittsburgh on Tuesday. And that's my video for today. If you like this video, leave a like, a subscribe, and a share. I'm trying to grow my channel, and a like, a subscribe, and a share does me wonders, and I do appreciate it. It takes 1 second to subscribe, costs you absolutely nothing, helps me immensely. Just hit the subscribe button on the bottom of the screen. And if you're watching this on Rumble, please follow my channel. Always feel free to leave a comment. I encourage everybody to leave a comment. Not only does it get us interacting, but it really does help me with the YouTube algorithm and getting more eyes on my videos. And as always, pew 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 and shit. Thanks for watching. Hopefully the next game is a hell of a lot better. Have a great day. Bye.